This video is going to walk you through how to create a dimension an object with more than one sketch, something like a Lego. So we'll start with creating a metric template. We want a millimeter part because that's what we do our measurements in, so the standard millimeter IPT file. Our workspace is going to open and we're going to start by creating a 2D sketch on the XY plane. I will quickly draw a rectangle and dimension it. My dimensions were 32 millimeters by 16. You may have had a block that was longer or shorter, so that may be subject to change. Now the depth of my Lego was 10 millimeters, so when I extrude, I'm going to be extruding for 10 millimeters. This went ahead and extruded for 10 millimeters already, so I don't need to change that, but if it was too big or too small, that's how you could do that. So now I'm going to go ahead and create a second sketch to create the studs on top. I'm going to start by creating a circle, and I'm going to dimension it to 4 millimeters because that's what I measured, so 4 millimeters. Then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start to kind of accurately place it. It'll just help me get the rest of the studs in place later on. So I'm going to dimension from this edge to this circle. And so I know they're both selected when they're both blue. So I'll start with that edge. So I measured 2 millimeters from here, so I'm going to select 2 and it's going to move it over a little bit. And then again, make sure that it's blue. Now this is asking me to dimension from the center point, but I can do the simple math. If it's 2 millimeters over here and 2 over there, I'm going to dimension this one for 4. So now I've approximately placed where I want the stud to go. I'm going to go ahead and use the copy tool to place the other 7 studs. I will go back through and dimension them, but I don't want to have to create 7 individual ones that I have to then also dimension. So I'm just going to go ahead and place them, roughly place them. Again, I'll go back and dimension them, but at least I don't have to create 7 more studs with with dimensions. So I'm going to use the escape tool to exit out of that. And so now I'm going to grab my dimensioning tool again. I measured 4 millimeters across this way and 4 millimeters across that way, with 2 millimeters being all around the outsides. So I'm going to start by grabbing this, and again I'm going to go for 4. And I'm going to make sure that it's dimensioned from this side the way that we want. We're going to hit 4. And so, and make sure that we've got this right in here, and again it should be 4, and we'll hit accept on this one. That may pop up every once in a while, don't worry about that. So then I'm going to go ahead and start dimensioning between other circles as well. Now again, it's asking me to go between their 2 center points, so I've got 2 millimeters here, 4 in the middle, and 2 over here, so I'm going to make that 8. And it's placed it a little further away, and so I'm going to go ahead and start to dimension in between these as well. Now again, this is not going between the center points, so I'll make this 4. Start to dimension between all of these, and basically for the rest of the time I'm just going to be doing a lot of dimensioning, just getting everything placed exactly right. Set that for 4, and one more up here, and again it's basically just a repetitive process at this point, and that may pop up every once in a while. And so you just have to look, is it asking you to dimension between the 2 sides or the 2 center points? So you may have to change your numbers up a little bit for that. Make that 4. Make that 8. And again, when you're dimensioning, you know you have both items you want to dimension between when they both have turned blue. So I've grabbed that, and I've grabbed this circle. I want there to be 8 millimeters in between those 2 center points. So I can start to do those final numbers, and 4 in between here. And again, it's just a lot of dimensioning, but this is how you turn out really, really precise work. Oh, that should have been a 4 because it asked me to dimension from the center point, and it pops it down back where it needs to be. Perfect. And obviously as you're doing this, if something doesn't look right, go ahead and try to make your final adjustments. And accept. So now I've got everything dimensioned out the way that I want it to be. I can hit Finish Sketch. And then when I go to extrude, I need to very carefully click on each circle, not the area around it, or it'll extrude the wrong part. And because I'm extruding this on one sketch, I only need to change the measurement once. When I measured, this was 2 millimeters over here. And now I have a beautifully dimensioned, basically perfect Lego block, exactly like I measured.